to my nightmare accent, the Black Widow. And he could do it anywhere, at any moment, at any time, and just verbatim, and it was quite good. And I was up for it. I met with, David and I went to lunch with Gary, and we were talking, and I thought he had this beautiful kind of Civil War looking face. He reminded me of Richard Farnsworth. Like he could be a cowboy or he could be a Civil War captain, and he just had this charisma about him too. I was aware that he was not a professionally trained film actor, obviously. There were a lot of big stars that wanted that part, and thanks to David, he gave it to Gary, but I thought this is an opportunity to have something new possibly happen, like get into the jazz of wherever this is going to go, we're going to find something together, and it's going to be different than anything I've done before, because I've never had an experience like that before. So anytime you can achieve something new, it tends to stimulate you to find something. And that's what the experience was like with Gary. The sad thing is, when I did say to Gary, you know, if you could just keep it together for 1 year. I knew he had a bit of a problem, but he always showed up for work, he was on time, he had all his dialogue. And I just said to keep it together for a year, and I promise you, your phone's gonna ring, and your life is gonna change. And then 2 months after we wrapped, I got the call from David that he had died, and I was very upset about it, because I really think his life would have changed.
Wow. It's an extraordinary story. It's almost like he came out of nowhere for you on this movie, and it seems so right.
Yeah, essentially he had just gotten fired from working at the circus, and so he was on his way back to Austin to try to figure out what to do after having a little stint with the traveling circus. And yeah, just a man looking for a change and looking to do something different. And I really, you know, it was a difficult thing to kind of process.
Nicholas, for you, I think, I noticed in all your work, you always seem to be looking for something different yourself, something that's going to challenge you, take you out of whatever you did the movie before. Is that right?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, I want to keep challenging myself. I never refer or think of myself as a maestro. I always see myself as a student. I think that's the right way to look at it, so you're learning something. When Joe came along, I was also going through this kind of new concept for myself, a kind of like dogma-style approach to film performance, where I wanted, you know, absolutely no fake tears, absolutely no outside influences, my voice only 100%, so they could be as natural as possible. I was also at this point where I had done, as I said earlier, what I wanted to do with a kind of what I call Western kabuki style of film performance. I was designing characters from the outside, and you know, I don't believe in the words over the top. You know, you show me where the top is, and then I'll tell you whether or not I'm over it. I just don't. Does anybody know where the top is? Please, somebody answer that for me. But the thing that is important for me at this point was like, yeah, I did the Baroque styles, I did the Andy Warhol concepts of drama, and now I wanted to be as naked, meaning as emotionally bare as possible without overthinking it or designing it.
Well, before I open it to some questions from the audience, I got to ask you about another co-star of yours, which is one of the best relationships I've ever seen between an actor and an animal. You and this dog.